If you have ever done push-ups, you will know that the next day literally nothing happens. You may feel sore, but other than that, there is no tangible or perceivable change. When facing this reality, we come to the conclusion that results not only are slow, but they require patience and above all, consistency. It is the collection, the sum of all of your training each day, which is going to ultimately change anything. This is why you can't buy results with a stupid product. It is only up to you to get stronger or have bigger muscles. Showing up is the start of anything. It doesn't even have to be going to some place, but mostly it is the commitment of finally deciding to do it and sticking with it. And many people have the trouble of showing up frequently. That is why you already heard or even tried to find how to consistently show up to the gym or calisthenics or whatever you are doing. Whether it be making things short so it doesn't take much time, or making your workout simple so you don't need to worry a lot in learning new things and overwhelming yourself. And so, because most people have trouble showing up, the meaning of consistency becomes working out frequently. But showing up is not enough, and maybe when you hear the word consistency, you shouldn't only think about showing up, but also about consistently training hard, consistently doing a few non-changeable exercises, and consistently having healthy joints. You could just show up, and maybe in the beginning that will be enough. Since most people are sedentary, any kind of physical activity will probably be plenty of challenge to be conducive to growth or results. You could mildly train at anything and still get results because everything is a challenge. And in a way, you don't really need to purposely challenge yourself. But this quickly becomes a problem because everything is a challenge to your body at the start. Anything can give you results. But also because everything is a challenge, you never really learn to willingly challenge yourself. And once your body adapts to the challenge, you stay in that comfort zone. It is kind of like my relationship with push-ups. Since it is calisthenics, you can't make it heavier unless you add weight. And it is easy just to reach 20 reps and call it a day. Because 20 reps seems like a lot, so your mindset of comfortability tells you that you have done enough. But realistically, you could challenge yourself by reducing the rest between sets to less than a minute and simply do more reps until failure instead of just half-assing the workout. It could also happen with any lift that you do. If you simply go to the gym, do your workout, and never really plan or are enthusiastic about increasing the weight, simply showing up, wandering without a set goal or purpose, you put yourself a challenge, whether it be an increase of weight or doing as many reps as you can. You slowly but surely adapt, and what challenged you before no longer does now. But you never say that to yourself. It is not something you say out loud, so it is kind of something that you never realize. And so you retreat to comfortability. Your mindset or training attitude slowly degrades without you noticing. Then you complain about seeing no results. In this sense, training hard or challenging yourself is also something that must be done frequently or consistently, because in the same way that only doing one workout won't magically change your body, only training hard once will also not change your body. In the same way that you could not show up, you could also not train hard or attempt to challenge yourself. What is the longest amount of time that you can say honestly that you have consistently trained hard for? Every workout where you can say that you train hard. Personally, I don't know. What I know is that many times in 2023 and 2024, I was training to mild discomfort, not even going hard, although that was also influenced by my injuries. Training hard is highly important, but if you're never consistent with the exercises you do, it will be mostly in vain. Realistically, if you're constantly changing the priority of the exercises you do, and with priority you also inevitably change the energy you put into them, it will be hard to get good at them regardless of how hard you train. If you train pull-ups twice a week and the next week you change the pull-ups and now do pull-downs and you interchange them every week, you cannot expect to get good at pull-ups when you are consistently not doing that. If you were to only train pull-ups twice per week, every other week, you will only do pull-ups 52 times per year. Whereas if you were to hit pull-ups twice every week, you will do 104 sessions of pull-ups per year. You know the difference that makes? It happened to me with my back compared to my shoulders and upper chest. I was training with purpose, with a set goal on my pushing days. I wanted to get good at the handstand push-up and get strong at it. And so for 1 year, I put high priority on it, always doing some kind of handstand push-ups, and I went from only doing 2 to now doing 13 on the floor. A huge difference. In comparison, I was kinda drifting mindlessly when it came to my pulling strength, either vertical or horizontal. I was constantly switching up the priority of my exercises. Some days doing pull-ups, other days focusing on some front lever exercises, some other days muscle ups. And guess what? My front lever kinda got stuck for a whole year, along with my pull-ups too. Although I must say that being at a heavier weight and bulking while doing calisthenics affects your pulling strength way more than pushing, at least in my experience. And I also had some shoulder injuries that affected my shoulder extension capacity, but not my shoulder flexion. Regardless of this, I was still consistently switching up exercises. Also, let's not talk about my legs. So how long have you consistently done the same exercises over and over? I can proudly say that, at least in my handstand push-up training, I have been quite consistent, and thus I have been rewarded. There is something that will affect how hard you can train, the exercises you can do, and whether or not you can show up, and it is injuries. There is no need to explain a lot. Injuries are so debilitating and frustrating. They can even take away a lot of what you have worked for, depending on how bad they are. How long has it been since you injured yourself? Or how long have you had healthy joints without injuries? As I say this, I have a mild left shoulder injury and a mild wrist chronic injury. I find that many times it is difficult to be consistent in all of these 4 things at the same time. You might have healthy joints, train hard, but not show up when you need it. Or you might always show up, but rarely train hard, and sometimes you switch up exercises without being aware. Or you do everything consistently except for having healthy joints. Which begs the question, how long have you been training hard, having healthy joints, doing the same exercises while showing up at the same time? I find that being consistent at all of that at the same time for a period of 6 months for many people will be difficult to do. If you are able to consistently show up, consistently train hard, and challenge yourself, consistently keep the exercises you want to get good at for either muscle growth or strength, and if you are consistently able to avoid injuries and have healthy joints for a whole year, I can 100% guarantee you that you will surpass any physical goal you have put yourself in a shorter time than you expected.